Hello guys, my name is Lyndon Chastain, and today I'll be showing you how to start your travel theme page on Instagram in 2021. Having a theme page is great because it requires minimal work and lets you form a community that you can monetize and make a decent side income off of. I have personally grown 2 theme pages to over 70,000 followers in under 6 months. By the end of this video, you will know step by step how to set up and grow your travel theme page. Now to start off, you're going to want to pick a niche. Now what is a niche? A niche is basically a section of a market. So for example, the niche that I picked was Italy, and that's within a larger niche, which is travel. A niche could be anything from business to beauty, really anything at all. In this video though, we're going to be focusing on the travel niche and how to grow inside it. Now back in 2018, you could have picked travel as a whole as your niche, but in 2021, that's not going to work because it's too saturated, which means that there are too many people in it. In 2021, you're going to have to narrow your audience down a little bit more, so like a specific location or group of people. So for example, I chose Italy as my location, and that allows me to target a more specific group of people. Now, why do you want to niche down? Simply, it helps you grow your page faster and it gets more engagement on your content. Here are some great examples of niches that you could choose for a travel Instagram. New York City, Paris, Iceland, Switzerland, and Bali. Now you can really choose any location that you want, but you have to make sure the niche that you're choosing is big enough to grow, but small enough to let you grow. Let me explain a little farther. If you're competing in a niche that has like 30 pages over 1 million followers, you're gonna have a lot of competition, and you're gonna be competing with your page that has 0 followers with 30 pages that have over 1 million followers. That's really hard to do. The smaller the niche, the faster you'll grow in the beginning, but you have to make sure that there's room for growth after you start gaining traction and get more followers on your page. Now here are some examples of niches that are very specific but have a pretty large market. Restaurants in Rome, Airbnbs in the Alps, or coffee shops in Seoul, Korea. Now these niches are very specific, but a lot of people are interested in them. However, you don't want to pick a niche that's too small. For example, the best appetizers in like Marseille, something like that, where you're really not going to have that many people interested in it, except for those people who are really interested in it. The way that I determine the size of a niche is how many pages in that niche are over 1 million followers. So what size niche should you actually pick? I would pick a medium-sized niche like Iceland or Spain instead of a smaller niche like restaurants in Paris or coffee shops in Brooklyn. And this is because there are more people interested in the entire country of Iceland than there are just people interested in the restaurants of Paris. Saying that, if you're passionate about the restaurants in Paris, go for it. You can build a great community that's really passionate about the same thing that you're passionate about. Having a smaller niche like that will give you a more active community. You just won't be able to grow as big. You can still make great money in smaller niches because you have a better understanding of what your audience is actually interested in than, say, if I tried to market to my followers who are just interested in Italy. Whether you are niching down to a medium-sized page or a smaller page, the point is still the same. You need to niche down more than just travel as a whole. For the sake of this video, I'm going to assume that you chose Italy as your niche. All the tips and tricks and lessons that you'll learn in this video can be applied to any niche in the travel industry. Alright, now let's get into the fun stuff. Let's go over profile design. The first thing that people look at when they see a profile is the username. When picking a username, you want something that's related to your niche and looks clean. So this means that you should avoid numbers, underscores, or periods. Only use letters. Your name should also be only 2 to 3 words long. Anything more than this is pretty unnecessary. The name that I chose for my page was Dreams in Italian. This is clean, it's easy to remember, and it's 3 words. Dreams in Italian. A lot of names will already be taken, so if you're struggling to figure out a name, you can use a thesaurus. For example, when I tried to make my name, I originally wanted to use Dreams in Italy, but that was taken, so I used Dreams in Italian. Alright, now let's get into name. The name that I use is Italy Travel Inspiration. You are using the name section of your Instagram for SEO. What is SEO? It means search engine optimization. And that basically means improving your chances of showing up when somebody types in your topic. So for example, if somebody searches travel on Instagram, I have a chance of coming up because I have travel in my name. You should use words that are relevant to your niche and then separate them with this bracket. For example, if you have a travel page about Paris, your name should be something like Paris Lifestyle Travel. You can really customize this however you want, but you really want to keep those keywords relevant to your topic. This also helps Instagram sort your content so they can show it to the relevant people in your niche. Alright, let's get into your logo. When creating a logo, you should look at other successful theme pages that are also in your niche and then make a logo that's similar to theirs. Now I like to keep my logos simplistic, between 2 to 3 colors, and if you don't want to make a logo, you can also just use a picture off the internet For example, on my Dreams in Italian account, I originally started out with a picture of Rio Maggiore. For example, if you're doing a page on Paris, you could use a picture of the Eiffel Tower. If you really don't want to come up with a logo, you could also pay somebody on Fiverr for like $5 to create a logo for you. There's really no need to do this, but if you want to do it, the option is there. All right, let's get into your bio. Now for your bio, I'd recommend between 3 to 4 lines of text, all starting with an emoji, and then a bracket, and then a little line of text. Now the first line of your page should be welcoming. On my Instagram, my first line tells people that my page is a community and that they're accepted there. The second line should be a clear call to action followed by a promise. For example, in my page, I'm telling them to follow and then I'm giving them a reason why. The third line should be a reason to follow that makes people feel included. For example, I'm telling my followers to come along on the journey and experience the best place on earth. All right, let's talk about that call to action in the second line because that's actually really important. A call to action is basically asking somebody to do something. So on my Instagram page, I'm asking them to follow it or to like my photos, something along those lines. Now, saying this, you do not want to beg people and definitely don't plead with them. Don't say please. Just say follow and then give them a reason why they should do it. This will make it so when people come across your page, they're much more likely to follow you because you're offering them value and giving them a clear call to action. Now, my reason why people should follow on Dreams in Italian is I'm giving them content daily. If people want to see pictures of Italy daily, then they'll follow. Now the fourth line really only becomes relevant after you hit a couple thousand followers, and this is because it's mainly used for business, so telling people to go to your DMs, your emails, or your online store. The overall idea that I want you guys to take away from this lesson is just make your bio look good and give people that clear call to action. All right, now let's get into the most important part of your page, which is the actual content. First things first, how are you going to pick your posts? When somebody comes to check out your page, you have to provide some sort of value. This can be really anything as long as it satisfies the user, for example, posting pretty pictures of beaches or giving your best travel tips. Now the viewer is giving you their precious time, so you have to make it worth it for them to spend time on your page. You do this by picking good content. When reposting posts, you should be looking to repost the top 10% of posts in your niche. You do this by letting other pages test the content for you, and then you pick and choose between the bad and the good content and only choose the good. One thing to watch out for while picking posts is you should stay away from posts that are made by companies, businesses, or brands. Most of the time, nothing bad will happen if you repost this content, but sometimes you'll get a copyright strike, which sucks. However, if you do want to repost content that a brand or a business has done, just DM them and ask if you can. Worst thing that can happen is they say no. Most of the time though, you want to pick content from individual creators. When reposting content on a theme page, your caption is very important. I usually like to describe the picture or ask a question related to the image. After my initial caption, I always make sure to add an emoji just because it's aesthetic to the eye, and then I will copy and paste the rest of my description from my notes. The bulk of your description is pretty much the same every time, so I recommend you just write it out in your notes so you can copy and paste it. This will save you a ton of time. I like to start my descriptions with a little squiggly line and then a clear call to action. This could be double tap, tag a friend, leave a comment, anything like that. I usually go with double tap because that requires almost no effort from the viewer and it boosts my content up because they're liking it. After that, I move another line down and have a call to action telling people to follow me, and then I move another line down and have 3 call to actions telling people to follow me. This doesn't really seem like it would make a huge difference, but it actually does. You will gain so many more followers by doing this. The next thing that I have in my description is my hashtags. You want to make sure you always max out your hashtags, which means 30 hashtags. I will go over how to pick those hashtags later in the marketing section of this video. Last but not least, make sure to give credit to the creator. They are the ones supplying you with the content and you are giving them exposure and growth. This is a relationship that benefits both parties. Okay, now that you know how to structure a post, how often do you post? First, let me ask you a question. Have you ever unfollowed somebody because they've been posting like 20 times a day? Because same. You do not want to be that guy. I would recommend you post between 3 to 4 times a day. This is enough to keep you growing but not spam your followers' feed. People only want to see so much of a certain type of content before they get bored with it, so sometimes less is more. Alright, so now that we have the images out of the way, let's talk about other types of content on Instagram. First off with Reels. When it comes to posting Reels, I usually post 1 a day. It's pretty much the same process as posting an image, but you don't have that location to worry about. And also you might want to be careful of the music. If it's really well-known music, you might not want to use it because you could get copyrighted by the record label. Yeah, Michael Bublé, I'm talking to you. Alright, so what about stories? I usually post a story every time I post a feed post, so about 3 times a day. And I always tag the creator on the story and that's about it. Again, watch out for the music you use. One great way to increase engagement is actually putting polls on your story because people can pick between them and it just boosts your engagement. Last and least, IGTV. I never really use IGTV. The only reason why I would use it is if like a follower sends me like their documentary or something like that and wants me to do it. That's just a way that I feel good about, giving back to my community and spreading my followers like creations. All right, so now that you have a really clean profile and you know how to post a proper Instagram post, how do you get that post to the people? Let's talk about marketing. So some of you guys might not have wanted to hear this, but the strategy that I'm going to be going over is follow for follow. That's because I believe it is the best free option when growing your page. There are better ways, but all of them cost money. For example, running Facebook ads. Follow for follow is basically what it sounds like. You will follow people in the hopes that they'll follow you back. Now, I believe that this is the best strategy for free when you're first starting out. When doing follow for follow, you're going to want to look for people who are following a similar page to your own. So for example, when I first did follow for follow, I followed people from pages like Italia or Italy in the World or Rome Travelers, any of those Italian pages. And the reason that you're doing this is because those pages already have the audience that you want. Like for example, if you're in the travel niche and you follow people that are interested in, say, basketball, a lot of them are not going to follow you back, and also probably not engage on your posts if they do end up following you back. So always follow people in your niche. Now, when using this strategy, I like to follow around 100 people a day. If you follow too many people at once, you can actually get action blocked, which isn't a huge deal, but you'd rather stay away from it because then you can't follow people for about a week. It's better to follow 100 people in a day than try to follow 300, get action blocked, and then follow nobody for 7 days. Now, how many people should be following you back from the people that you follow? I usually aim for a conversion rate of at least 20%. So for example, if you follow 100 people, at least 20 people should follow you back. Now, if you're getting less than this, say if you follow 100 people, only 10 people follow you back, it is most likely a problem with your profile or the posts that you're posting. So make sure your profile looks clean and you have high quality content. Now, once you are following about 3,000 people, I want you to start the unfollowing process. So it's basically the same as the following process. You just unfollow people instead of following them. So again, you're going to want to do 100 unfollows a day. Do this until you hit 0 and then rinse and repeat that process. Now, follow for follow is very tedious, and this is where most people give up. However, if you push through this process, just grind for a couple months, it only takes like 3 minutes a day. Just think of it like a habit. Think of it like brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth takes about 3 minutes, so does following people. Just do it every day until you hit that organic growth number, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. Before I get into that though, let's talk about Instagram ads. So this is for people who do not want to do the follow for follow strategy. Basically, you can look into creating Google or Facebook ads that promote your page. This will cost you money, but you will skip that step. I've never done this, but I know plenty of people who have had great success with it. And this will cost you money, but you will skip the step of following people. Another way to market your page is through giveaways. So for example, if you're doing a travel page, maybe you could give away like a trip somewhere or like a travel backpack, really anything, a travel wallet. Just make sure people like tag their friends in the comments, share your post, or whatever it is you want from them, tell them to do it. This is a great option for growing your account because you get that organic growth without following people, and your followers get something in return. All right, let's talk about the last way to grow your page, which is one of the most important, and that's hashtags. Now, hashtags are very important because they allow Instagram to sort and promote your content to people who aren't even following you. You should always max out your hashtags, and when you're looking for hashtags, you should always try to find hashtags between 50,000 posts to 2 million posts when you're first starting out. Going for these lower hashtags, you'll have a much better chance of actually ranking on the hashtag instead of competing with people who are like in like hashtag travel or hashtag Italy who have like millions of followers. I always put these hashtags on the bottom of my description. So after you hit a certain amount of followers, you get this magical thing called organic growth. Now, from my experience, organic growth happens from about 7,000 to 8,000 followers, and it is amazing. At this point, you are through the hardest part of building your page, and it will start to grow on its own. You can stop doing follow for follow and watch your page explode with barely any effort. When I mean explode, I mean explode. Dreams in Italian went from 8,000 to 20,000 in under a month, and I expect in another month it'll at least be at 50,000. Now, after you hit this organic growth number, you should change your page just a little bit. You basically want your page to look as clean as possible, so anybody that you're following, unfollow them until you're only following the people that you actually want to follow. And I usually try to keep this at like double digits, so between 0 to 100 followers, or 0 to 100 following. This basically just makes your page look a lot more professional. Alright, so now that your page is growing like crazy and you have a good amount of followers, now you can start the fun part, which is monetization, also known as making money. In this video, I will be going over the 5 main ways to monetize your page, but they're really infinite and you can take it to the moon. Number 1 is selling shoutouts. Now, once you gain a large amount of followers, companies will want to advertise on your page. So they will ask you for your ad rates, and then you give them your price, and they will send you an ad for you to post on their story. Or on your story. You can advertise through stories, feed posts, or both. Now, how much should you charge for these ads? My advice for this is charge 0.1% of how many followers you have. So for example, if you have 10,000 followers, you should charge $10 per ad. If you have 100,000 followers, you should charge $100 per ad. And if you have 1 million followers, then you should charge up to $1,000 an ad. That's a lot of money for just posting something on Instagram. That's usually my prices for feed posts, but for story posts, I usually half that. All right, Lyndon, I have companies hitting me up left to right. How many ads should I post? I don't want to overflow my feed. At most, I would post an ad once a week and no more than that, because if you start spamming your page with ads, your followers will lose interest. Now, this option when it comes to monetization is a good option for people who just want a little bit of passive income with very little work. Another note is you do not have to follow my ad prices. You can charge whatever you think your page is worth. All right, the second way to monetize your page is with affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing is selling somebody else's product and then receiving a small commission based off the purchase price of that product. So for example, if somebody paid $3,000 for a trip to Rome and signed up using the link in my bio, and I received 5% of that commission, that would be $150 that I just got paid just by putting that link in my bio. There are so many companies that provide these affiliate programs, and they're a great way to make some passive income. All right, third way is drop shipping. Now, this option is potentially the most profitable, but also requires the most work. Drop shipping is basically where you pick a product from a Chinese wholesaling website like AliExpress or DHgate, and then create a website and brand around it. When somebody buys that product through your website, you will order it from the Chinese wholesaler and ship it directly to the customer. This way, you never come in contact with the product and only spend the money to buy the product once somebody has already bought it from you. This creates a strange scenario where it's pretty impossible to actually lose money. Sounds amazing, right? This is definitely easier said than done, but it's definitely still possible, and you can make a lot of money dropshipping if you do it properly. Some successful dropshipping stores include Kylie Cosmetics or Purple Mattresses. The fourth way of monetizing your page is making online courses. This is a great way to monetize your page because once you put in that upfront work, there's no more work that needs to be done by you. You spend a couple days making the course, and then the next few years you sell it. Some good courses in the travel niche would be something like how to travel for free, or how to travel anywhere in the world while making money from your phone. This is a great option that's often overlooked in the travel niche and has the potential to make you a lot of money. For example, if you only sell 100 courses at $20 each, you'll make $2,000. Now, the last and easiest way to make money on your travel page is simply asking for donations. I see a lot of pages doing this, which most likely means that it's working for them. I personally have never tried it, but it would be a good way to make some side income without doing anything. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope this helped you start your travel niche page on Instagram and brought you some value. Good luck to everybody pursuing this, and if you have any questions, comment them down below. If you want to follow along with the channel, then I recommend subscribing and hitting that bell icon. Thank you, and peace.